My tea friends, what's going on? I have some great news. I think I turned on my first person to loose leaf tea. Of course, I've tried, multiple times over the years with different people. But this one, I think, has sort of stuck. So really excited about that. And I just happened to have a really good first timer's tea to start them out on, which was a moonlight white tea from Yunnan. So it was like, it's pretty sweet, and he still ended up adding honey to it, but he liked it. So hopefully I get a chance to share some more with him. But I'm not going to introduce him to pu'er quite yet. Today is a malcha from Laos, from RAKKASAN. Really excited to try this one out. It actually says that it is a dark tea, but I'm almost certain that just means it's a sheng. This is the cold brew, and based on the color and the look of the leaves, it is definitely for sure a raw pu'er, no question about it. I was worried that I used too much leaf, but I think I'm good. Yep, green grassy. There is a sweet aftertaste. I think that is the Wagon that gets talked about all the time. There's no bitterness. Well, there is a little bit of bitterness, but it's good though. It's the bitterness is so light, and it transforms to that sweetness so quickly that you barely recognize it. But there is a little bit of bitterness in there. I like this. I've definitely tasted something like this before. The sweetness is like Bubblicious gum that comes in that paper wrapper that has that kind of whitish powder on the inside. It has that particular sweetness, so I'm going to call that a sugar sweetness. But other than that, so far, nothing much different or special about it, other than the fact that it's from Laos, right? All right, so I broke my teapot, my glass teapot, on the same day I was introducing my cousin to loose leaf tea, actually, and I ended up having to brew it out of this glass jar. And so that's what I'm working with today as well. These are really huge leaves too. And just because the leaves are so long, it makes it really hard to judge how much you're using. So I'm expecting this to be just your typical Sheng Phou. Yep, sweet. Got a sort of a green grassy sort of aroma to it. Definitely sugar sweetness. Basically like brown sugar. Yeah, so far just typical Sheng. Nothing else to it really. It's just really cool to see the malcha though. You see those huge leaves, and so you can see the bud and two leaves. So really, really good picking. I don't see any shake or anything in the bag. So really good quality leaves here. I'm gonna rinse this just a bit. so far my jar and fork thing is working here. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I always say collard greens is definitely a green leaf, no doubt. So yeah, I'm expecting this to be just sort of savory, you know, collard green soup, basically. Gonna give this one about 15 seconds, just in case it is a lot stronger than what I expect. And those leaves are quickly turning green. Look at that. That is definitely a green leaf for sure. And I was really, really excited and having a lot of fun explaining various aspects of tea with my cousin here. And one of the things that I told him that I always say is that for me, tea is you know, a lot like drinking my greens, you know. Quite a bit of material in the glass. Wasn't expecting that. That's even after washing it. Let's see what the next few infusions are like. But yeah, there's quite a bit of material there. Yeah, that's what I expected. I can definitely go longer on this one. 15 seconds is good. There's no bitterness, there's no sweetness. It is just a green vegetal savory green soup. Now that the heat has dissipated, some of that sweetness from the dry leaf is coming back. Definitely brown sugar. Really pretty leaves, pretty green leaves. All right. Usually I would go 30 seconds. So I'm gonna stay on task here and go 30 seconds, but I really feel like 60 seconds will be like not a bad thing here. But let's see. Oh, wow. I expected the color to change quite a bit, but it hasn't. So yeah, lots of material. There is that one little leaf in there, but other than that, there is quite a bit of material in there. So you are really drinking, or eating rather, your tea. I don't particularly care for that, honestly. It's different if I was like picking my own tea, like, and I know for sure where it comes from, but whenever I see that, it's just like, man, I don't know if that's like dirt or, you know, who knows what. So not entirely happy about that. Otherwise, it is, like I said, just a middle of the road, raw pu'er. Really kind of what I was looking forward to drinking today. But all of this material, I'm not happy with. I'm really not. You know, it's a weird thing. Like, I buy food, of course, from many different places. Now, I eat like everything. But, you know, tea, I think, is one of the only things that I'm able to see any sort of like dirt and stuff. You know, like, I wash my meat, but then I cook it pretty much right away. So if there was anything on there that comes out in water, I don't know it. Typically, when you boil meat, you get this like fuzzy stuff that comes up to the top, and typically I think that's just like blood and stuff. Vegetables, fruits, you know, I put them in smoothies, but you know, because there's so much plant material in the smoothie, you can't know what's fruit juice and fiber versus like dirt, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's a weird thing, you know, but yeah, I'm not happy with, I don't know if you can see it, but it's quite a bit in there. All right, so, you know, the other thing is, you know, you look at the cold brew and all the leaves are intact. I mean, they're gorgeous. And there's no like little nothings floating around. So I don't know what it is. And this is the second infusion. So I mean, you think that by now it'll have, so clearly it's from the leaves themselves. They're really pretty looking leaves. I mean, the quality is, and this isn't like little plant fuzzies that come off. Like, this is actually something here. So let's do this again. And I need more water. And I'm gonna try to overbrew this thing. And see if maybe we can get this, whatever's in here out, you know? So, I've kind of been making kind of a group of what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to give away. This one is actually one of the few, well, no, I still have some Sheng from Vietnam. So yeah, I mean, if I can't get that material out on this infusion, then this one does not make it into the keep it pile. It's not terrible. Just isn't like the best, you know. Again, I really appreciate RAKKASAN even being around so that I can try Laotian raw pu'er. I think that's really cool. But yeah, just gorgeous leaves. Really are. And I am curious to see, I mean, you know, being that this is a raw pu'er, I'm gonna put a fresh leaf in there. Matter of fact, that's something that I want to try because it made a lot of sense, particularly with those teas that have like a really great aroma. I'm gonna have to go back and look and see what the last one was that had such a great aroma that I just love smelling the dry leaf for. Because what I like to do is, at least try anyway, is add fresh leaves to the brews kind of as I go. So each infusion will have a little spattering of raw leaf, just to keep that aroma going, you know. This one is nothing special, you know. It's just like I said, just a green soup. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. I am curious to see if this thing can be overbrewed though. I have a feeling it cannot be. Even though that first infusion had just a little, well, no, it didn't have any bitterness on it. I'm sorry, the cold brew. The cold brew has a little bit of bitterness on it, but I have a feeling that it's not going to happen with the hot brew. I have a feeling. And so that is something that I think we can say is really special for a raw Sheng, in that it cannot be overbrewed. Now, something else I think is important to note here is, yeah, I'm not using a strainer, but even still, like, I'm watching the tea pour out into the glass, and the pieces that are coming out are really small, so even a strainer won't necessarily catch those. Look at that. Big leaves. It's really cool. All right, so we do have a color change, much darker, and again, a bit of material there. It is getting better. It's definitely getting better. This particular tea maybe just needs to be washed a few times. Once was definitely not enough. So it's just a little bit of material, but not a whole lot. Not as dirty as the first two infusions. Yeah, this thing can't be overbrewed. I don't know how long that was, but it had to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 minutes. And it is just perfect as far as the bitterness goes. Again, there's a tiny bit there, about as much as what was in the cold brew. The cold brew actually had a bit more bitterness. And the bitterness in this one definitely has that Hui Gan, where it goes from bitter to sweet right away. And unlike a lot of teas, this one tastes exactly like the cold brew, which is very interesting. It's just hot. Like, it has the exact same flavor profile. Well, of course, the green, you know, the green, collard green thing is still there for sure. But just the way that it is, like, slightly bitter and then moves quickly to that bubblicious bubblegum sweetness. And it's not like bubblicious bubblegum once you bite into it and get it going real good. No. It tastes like bubblicious bubblegum if you just pop the whole thing in your mouth and just sucked on it for a second. You know what I mean? It tastes like that. And it's on the back end. It's like an aftertaste, you know? So it's interesting. I'm gonna enjoy this one. It looks like a lot of the muddiness has subsided. So I'm gonna continue to drink this and gonna have some fun with some forgotten brews, because like I said, this thing cannot be overbrewed at all. And the bitterness, like I said, it's just a tiny bit, but it's like the perfect amount for what you want in a raw Sheng. They don't say when this was picked. I didn't check the site before hitting record. But I wonder if this is aged even a couple years. Just because you expect a raw Sheng to be like kind of harsh and bitter, and this one has definitely mellowed out for sure. So if it is aged, that makes all the sense in the world. But if this is like a 2024 or 2023, then that makes it a different Sheng for sure. So that's it. RAKKASAN, again, appreciate those guys for having these teas available to try out. It's really cool. They also say that they responsibly source these things, which is also dope. Phou San Mountain. All right, from me to you. I'll holla.